And I would love to share my screen really quickly. So I'll just put up that disclaimer slide. And if you can just take a peek at that quickly, and then we will just hop right into our time together. Great. Thank you so much for your patience on that. Welcome everyone. My name is Melissa, and tonight I'll be guiding all levels yoga. So we will practice together for 45 minutes. And just a reminder to listen to your body. So if any of the stretches are not working for you, you can always skip them, come on out and modify. And you may want to have some props for your practice today. So you may want to have that yoga mat close by. And it's also nice to have a blanket. And also the yoga block is great too. So if you don't have those, no biggie, you'll be fine through the practice, but it can just be nice to have a little extra support. So let's get started in a comfortable seated position today. And we can just take a moment to close the eyes, let ourselves drop into our body and our breath. And so as you feel your body settling here, you can sit in any way that feels comfortable for your body. So you may want to cross your legs. You can always extend your legs out in front of you, and you can always sit back onto your heels too. Begin to bring your awareness to where your body is meeting the ground. So feel the edges of the legs, the edges of the feet grounding down. Feel your spine lengthen. Try to lengthen the back of your neck. Reach and stretch through the crown of the head. And then dropping in, begin to connect to the rise and the fall of the breath. And then lengthening as you inhale and lengthening as you exhale. And then maybe encouraging your exhale to be a little bit longer than your inhale. And then as you're breathing here, feel and notice the 4 parts of the breath. So we often think of the breath as just one part. So notice your inhale, the space, the pause, the exhale, and the space, the pause. And then noticing how each breath so freely flows one into the next. Without any thought, the breath moves seamlessly and the breath flows continuously one into the next. If you would like, set an intention for your practice. And an intention could be anything that you would like it to be. Maybe to give yourself this opportunity to practice relaxation and self-care. It could be to, push yourself in the poses to get the best stretch and best strengthening that's possible. Let's take a moment here. Draw your chin into your chest. Lengthen the back of your neck. Allow for your head to roll to the right. So we're just going to bring this into a nice neck stretch. Come back on through the center. Let's take our chin to our chest. And then releasing your head off towards the left. And then take yourself back through center. So just come back into center, chin to your chest. And then circle the head. So maybe find large circles here, maybe find smaller circles. And then begin to circle in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement. And then as you're circling here, try to melt away any tension that you might be holding onto. Let's come into a neutral neck here. We'll start by lowering the right hand down to the mat, giving yourself a little side stretch, and we'll create a little bit of a sweeping movement. So that left arm is going to sweep across your body, and then you're going to take an opportunity to roll yourself open a little bit. So opening your chest up towards the sky. And then letting that left hand pull you back to center, and then that right hand's going to follow you. Let's come on up. We're going to roll open the chest and the heart, and then float yourself back. And flow that left arm open, heart is shining to the sky. And then let's just go side to side here for a moment. And maybe each time that you move, you try to open up that shoulder a little bit more. So you really try to roll open that shoulder, try to open and broaden through your chest and your collarbone. Fantastic. Let's come back into a neutral spine and come on forward into table. So as you make your way over into table, you may want to grab a blanket to pad your knees. So bringing your knees, your hips in line, wrists, shoulders in line, feeling the fingers span wide, press through the index finger and thumb. The right leg will straighten behind you. So we're just going to give ourselves a little press out through the heel and the back of the knee. Give yourself a calf stretch and a hamstring stretch. Let's take our heel in line with our hip and maybe roll your hip down a little bit. Try to even off your low back. You can point your toes so that you are really activating your feet, or your foot rather, and activating your leg. We're just going to tap our foot down. So you're just going to kind of tap your toes down and then draw your leg back on up. Give it a nice little tap down. Come on up. Let's go 5 more times here. Alrighty, let's bring that foot up, and then we're going to take our right foot to the right. So we're just going to kind of sweep it off to the side, and then we're going to take ourselves back to center. Great. Let's try that one 5 more times. Perfect. Let's come back to neutral, and then right foot will take a tap to the left. We're just going to cross it over, do a little tap, and then reset back to center. Excellent. Let's come back to center. We'll do a little reset into table, and then circle out through the hips a bit here. So maybe find large circles in the hips, maybe find some smaller circles in the hips. And then flow in the other direction. We'll just reverse that movement. And then back into neutral. Let's take our left leg behind us, and we will begin to press out through the heel and the back of the knee. We're going to lift that heel up. You can point to your toes. And then we're just going to do that straight tap down. So tap it down and then reset. Great. Let's take that left foot to the left. So we're just going to do a little sweep off towards the left. Reset back to center. Great. Back to center. Let's do our little crossover. So left foot's gonna cross to the right. Great. Let's take ourselves back to center, back into table, and press into child's pose for a moment. Let's bring our hips back to our heels, heart lowered down, and give yourself a couple breaths here. Core engages. Pull on through into table. Right leg will straighten behind you. Again, we're going to lift that heel in line with your hip. Point your toes with time, and then let's create a little circling movement. So we're just going to circle into that hip joint. So maybe gaze down at your hands, feel your fingers stand wide, press through your index finger and press down through your thumb. And then flow in the other direction. Great. Let's try other side. Left leg extends behind you. Lifting that heel up. Point your toes and circle. Flow in the other direction. Great. Let's come on back into table and we'll do a little setup for dolphin. So we'll open up those shoulders a little bit for our practice. So to start, we're going to come down onto our elbows, reach for your opposite arm. So just make sure that the fingers can wrap around the outsides. That helps us know that our elbows aren't too far from one another. Hands come out in front, fingers interlock, palms touch. You can also press your hands down into the mat. And we are going to curl our toes under and then lifting your hips up towards the sky. And then on this one, you can walk your toes in towards your face to give yourself a little bit more stretch. Try to ground really firmly into those forearms. We want to lift from our shoulders. We want to find a little length and find a little bit of space here. Feel that really strong connection of the forearms into the earth. So lifting from the shoulders, find some length, find some space here. Make sure that you're breathing. So easy to hold your breath. I'll take a nice deep pull in breath and a nice deep pull out breath. Knees will lower down. Hips to your heels. Let's come to a child's pose as you exhale. And then coming on forward. Let's try plank on the forearms. So same setup. This one is going to be a dolphin plank. So on your elbows, reach for opposite arms. Hands come out in front. Fingers interlock, palms touch. Toes are going to walk back this time. And then on this one, we don't want to have our hips too high. So you can tuck your tailbone. Feel your navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. Try to create that long line that flows from your heels to the crown of the head. Maybe gaze down at the space between the forearms to try to lift from your shoulders. Try to find some length and find some space here. Right leg can lift if you'd like to try a three-limbed plank. Try not to have those hips lift too high. Let's come back to plank and opposite leg lift when you're ready. Feel your breath flowing in and out. Knees can lower down. Let's try a toe stand here. Toes will curl under, hips back to your heels, working with toe stand. You can sit right back onto your heels. Option to stay here. And if you wanted to try some balancing, you can come onto your tippy toes and almost create a little sensation that you could lift yourself off of the heels. Maybe one hand will come super at heart and then the other hand will meet it. And then try to create a sensation that you could lift your hips off of your heels. And then let's come on out of that one. We're going to float ourselves into table. You can tap the tops of your feet out on the mat And let's try a core stretch here. So for this one, you'll take your knees in line with your hips. Glue the tops of your feet down on the mat. Hands can be at your hips to start. Engage your core. So we want to create a line from our knees all the way to the crown of the head. So one straight line that we're going to try to lower back. And on this one, we're not trying to create a back bend or anything like that. We want to keep our spine straight the whole time. Hands can float out in front. Fingertips in line with your shoulders. Core engages. And then let's take ourselves back a little bit. So we are going to lean back here. And as we lean back, you might feel that your quads are working. You can definitely probably feel them activate a bit. Give yourself a couple of breaths here. And then staying here, you might want to challenge yourself. Maybe you want to lean back a little bit more. We're really going to zip up our core. Feel your tailbone tuck. Feel the navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. Let's float ourselves back a bit more. Make sure that you're breathing, inhaling and exhaling. And then let's take it one more time. So you can stay here. Maybe you're going to shift back a little bit more. Let's come on forward. We're going to take ourselves to table and press back to down dog as we exhale. Shake it out in down dog. Bend one knee, bend the other knee. Let your head relax, yes. And let your head relax, no. Let's come into plank. Take a high push-up pose. Knees can be up or down. Let's try up dog, and we'll work a little bit with a neck stretch. So holding your up dog, lower down chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Look up the right shoulder. We'll give ourselves a breath here. Come back to center and look off the opposite shoulder. And back on through the center and down dog when you're ready. Toes curl under, sitting bones to sky. Toes to the hands. Let's float ourselves forward into a fold. Shake it out a little bit here in your fold. So it may feel nice to bend one knee. To bend the other knee and relax your head yes and no. So if the ground is feeling far away, maybe bring your hands on blocks for support. Maybe you have a deep bend in your knees if that's needed. Hands to the right. Find a side stretch here. Ground firmly through both of your feet. So inside and outside of each foot. Back on through the center. Let's take those hands to the other side. Reach and stretch from your waist, lengthen your side body, arm and fingertips. Come on back to center. Let's float ourselves to that fold. Half lift here. We're going to lift our spine, lengthen our spine. Fold yourself down. Come on up. Let's rise for mountain as you inhale. Draw your hands at your heart space as you exhale. Hands can sweep the sky. Fingers will interlock and palms will press up. We'll take a nice deep full breath here to lengthen. Release your hands to the right. Breathe out. Maybe roll that left shoulder back, right shoulder under. Feel that your heart is shining up to the sky. Come back to center. We're going to realign here, lengthen and release to the other side. Try to feel that right hip pressing off to the right and just seeing if that helps you move deeper into that side stretch. We're going to come back to center. Release your hands behind your body. Let's try Yoga Mudra. Fingers will interlock, palms will touch. Take a full breath to lengthen. Fold yourself down, breathe out. Try to relax the fronts of your shoulders and just notice if that helps you move a little deeper into the shoulder stretch. Hands can relax onto the low back. Hands can float down towards the ground. Let's take half lift here. Forward fold. Come on up, let's rise. We'll float into mountain as you inhale. Hands at your heart space as you exhale. Let's try chair pose from here. Utkatasana. So sending your weight back into your heels. Toes are light and almost a sensation like your toes could lift from the mat. Let's take our right leg back. We'll try warrior three pose from here. We'll try a balanced warrior. So as you take warrior three, find your drishti. Let's find that one spot to focus concentration, to focus awareness. And once you find that spot, not letting the eyes shift at all. Coming into crescent from here, right foot back, right heel is lifted, hands are reaching and stretching to the sky. And creating some movement here, straighten your front leg, Arms alongside your body, palms face forward. Let's come back and through. We'll do a little reset and straighten and release. And then flowing with your own breath here, flowing to the rise and the fall of your breath. Great, let's come back onto the crescent, bringing off that back foot. Let's come into warrior three pose. Feel really grounded through all the parts of your left foot. Ground through the inside, through the outside. And then notice your body's natural tendency. If you tend to roll in and if you tend to roll to the outside of the foot. Let's try chair. Right foot to left foot, hips sink back and down for Utkatasana. Let's feel the breath flowing in and flowing out through the nose. Left foot takes a float back. Let's try warrior three pose. Maybe imagine that you could balance a block on your low back. So maybe roll that left hip down a little bit, even off your low back and even off your hip. Come back onto the crescent. We will create a little movement here. Straighten your front leg. Arms alongside your body, palms face forward. Float it out. And release. Let's go 5 more times with the breath here. Let's come back on through. A little reset back into crescent. Bring off that back foot. Let's try warrior three pose. Let's come on forward. Imagine if you could see yourself from the side. Try to create a capital T shape with your body. So you want to feel this long line that flows from our right heel to the right hip. And then long line from your left heel to the crown of your head. Let's come into chair. Hips will sink back and down for Utkatasana. Maybe look down. Make sure that you can see the tips of your toes so that those knees aren't floating too far forward. Right foot takes the float back. Let's try warrior three pose. Find that neutral gaze at the space down to the ground. Try to lengthen the back of your neck. Reach and stretch through the crown of your head. Come back on through the crescent. Holding crescent. Option for a little movement here. So you may want to take a little bend, maybe a deeper bend. Maybe that knee is going to tap down. Float yourself back on up. Great. Let's come on through. Back to crescent. Spring forward for warrior three. And then so many options with the hands here. Maybe bringing your hands up for a heart, arms alongside your body. Let's reach and stretch our hands in front of us. As you exhale, we're going to do a little crunch. Take your elbows and your knee to touch. And then lengthen. Exhale, round. Let's take our crunch. And lengthen. One more time. And to release, let's come back to chair. Send your weight into your heels. Let your toes be a little bit lighter here. Almost a sensation like they could lift right off of the ground. Left foot takes their foot back, warrior three. Make sure that you're breathing here. Really easy to hold the breath. We want to take that nice deep in breath and out breath. Come on back to crescent. Hold that stillness. Option for movement. That's great. Let's come on back to crescent. Bring off your back foot. Let's try warrior 3. Hands can reach and stretch in front. Exhale, let's take a crunch, round. And lengthen. Exhale, round. And lengthen. Let's take that one more time. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Let's take it down to a fold. Reach for opposite elbows. Coming into ragdoll. So in ragdoll, maybe draw your weight into your toes. Let your heels be a little light. Gently shift to the right. And gently shift to the left. Bringing your hands down to the ground. Let's try a fold with a twist. So we're going to start by bending our right knee. Right hand will plant. Left hand lifts when you're ready. And then as you take your twist with your in-breath, feel your spine lengthen. On your out-breath, let your twist deepen. Lowering your hand down, let's keep our legs just how they are. Left knee bent, or right knee bent. Left hand plants this time, and then right hand reaches to the sky. Maybe bring your hand onto your hip. Roll that right shoulder back. Left shoulder roll under a little bit. Let's come on out. We'll try that on the other side. Left knee bends, left hand plants, right hand lifts. So bringing you into an open twist. This one tends to be a little easier. Come on out. Let's keep our legs just how they are. Right hand plants rather. Left knee is bent and left hand lifts to the sky. Come on out. Let's release that one. We're going to fold ourselves down into that forward fold. Maybe shake it out. Sometimes it's nice to release the legs and the head a bit. Let's try out plank. We'll come back for a high push-up pose. Knees up or down. Hold your up dog. We'll take that next stretch. So you want to lower down chaturanga. Take up dog. Look off your right shoulder. Back to center. Look off your left shoulder. Back to center and press yourself into down dog when you are ready. In down dog, feel really grounded in your hands. We really want to fan out the fingers nice and wide. Press through your index finger, press down through your thumb. Take that nice deep full breath in and out. Let's try a split dog from here. So we'll start by taking our right leg to the sky. Bend the knee, stack open through the hip. Flip your right foot to the left. Spin on your feet. Feet are planted. Knees are bent. Hips are lifting up. Hand is reaching up and overhead. Create that back bend through the 3 parts of your back. Let's come to a 3-limb dog. So right leg's going to reach to the sky. And then we're going to step on through, coming into warrior 1. And then as you set up in warrior 1, let's take that nice deep bend in the front knee. Back heel grounded and planted. Press firmly into the outer edge of your foot. Let's breathe into our calf stretch. Breathe into that hamstring stretch. Reach for opposite elbows behind your back. So just take our right hand for our left elbow and then left hand for the right elbow. Maybe imagine you could squeeze a pencil between the shoulder blades. Gently release. Let's come back on up for warrior 1. Give yourself a breath here. Let's come into warrior 2. So it's going to open off to the side of the room. Ground firmly through your feet. Almost create a little sensation that you could pull your feet in towards one another. So just let your legs be really active. Straighten your front leg. Hands reach and touch to the sky. Let's come back to warrior 2. Come on up. We're going to reach up, stretch up. And release. And then let's go 5 more times here with the breath. Coming back and through, let's do a reset to warrior 2, reverse, float it up, float it back. Come on through for warrior 2 and take it down to lateral angle. And then maybe extended lateral angle, maybe lower your hand down. Try not to collapse here into the bottom shoulder. Try to lift and lengthen a little bit here. Core engages, come on up. Reset to warrior 2. Straighten your front leg, take that front hand up and float it back. Come on up, let's try warrior 2 again. Windmill the hands down, we're gonna float ourselves into a lunge. Right foot will walk to the right edge of the mat, both hands to the inside of your foot. Working with a hip opener, we're gonna try lizard and gecko. So on this one, to make it a little easier, you can lower your left knee down onto the ground for support. Stay on your hands. You can also drop down onto your forearms if you'd like. And then just trying not to collapse here into the shoulder. Most important alignment too is to keep an eye on your right knee. Make sure that your knee and your ankle are in the same line. Knee can be behind the ankle, but we just don't want it to shift too far forward here. And then we can gently release this one. So we are going to come on up onto the hands. You can curl your toes under, lift yourself up. Let's put ourselves into plank. From plank, lower down chaturanga. Come into an up dog. Try to relax your shoulders away from your ears. And then press back to down dog when you're ready. Let's try flip dog on the other side. Last leg will reach up towards the sky. We will bend the knee. Stack open through the head. And then flip that foot over. Sit on your feet. Feet are planted, knees are bent. Hips are lifting up. Hand can reach and stretch up and overhead. And then really ground into your feet to lift those hips up. Shift a bit on the hands and the feet. 3-limbed dog, and then float yourself forward into that warrior 1 pose. Let's get grounded with the breath. Breathe in and out through your nose. Lengthen as you inhale. Lengthen as you exhale. Hands behind your body. Let's reach for opposite elbows here. We'll give ourselves a little heart opener. Try to relax your shoulders from your ears. And gently unwrap those arms. Float it up to warrior 1 and open into warrior 2. Let's create a little movement here. Straighten your front leg, hands reach and stretch to the sky. Come back on through, rise on up. And release. Great. Let's come back on through. Reset to warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Float that front hand back and up. Come on through warrior 2. Take it down to a lateral angle. Maybe hand lowers, extended lateral angle. Core engages back and up. Warrior 2. Straighten that front leg, front hand up and back, reverse triangle. Float it on up. Back to warrior 2. Windmill the hands down for that runner's lunge. Last foot to the left edge of the mat. Both hands to the inside of your foot. Back knee can come on down. And then let's try that lizard. We'll set up for Gekko. So again, on this side, just make sure that your knee and your ankle are in the same line. Make sure that your toes are pointing in the same direction as your knees. And we'll just feel our hips lowering down towards the mat with each exhale. Try to relax the eyebrows. Try to relax your jaw. Try to let go of tension through the back of your head, through the back of your neck. Relax your shoulders, arms, and hands. And then relaxing the upper, mid, and low back. Relaxing legs and relaxing feet of any tension. Let's come on into plank. So we're just going to ground into those hands. Right toes curl under, left foot meets your right foot. High push-up pose. Knees up or down, chaturanga. Let's come to up dog here. Press back to down dog when you're ready. Knees will begin to lower, coming into table. Sweep your feet to the right or to the left. We'll try seated. And in seated, let's take the sole of the right foot to the inside of the left leg. Hands are going to reach up. Hold yourself over your left leg as you exhale. Maybe roll that right shoulder down a little bit. This one is called head to knee stretch, Janu Shavasana. Come on up through your spine, one vertebrae at a time. Right leg will straighten, left leg bends in, hands reach up. Fold over that right leg when you're ready. And release. We'll flow ourselves back and up to a neutral spine. Legs extend in front. And let's come down onto our backs from here. As you come down onto your back, reach for the feet. We will come into a happy baby stretch. Flex your feet. Reach through the heels. Maybe rock side to side. Maybe finding stillness here. Knees will come to the chest. Arms, hands around knees or shins. Let's take a little gentle rock to the right and a gentle rock to the left. And then as you're rocking side to side here, let's bring that into circles as well. So maybe large circles, maybe find smaller circles. And then begin to circle in the other direction. From here, let's take some relaxation time. So we will come into Shavasana and give ourselves some time for relaxation. So if you need to take any final stretch or movement, you can do that. If you want to grab any props, you can grab some props as well. So your legs can relax, arms can relax. You can also plant your feet, have your knees bent, and then give yourself a moment to close your eyes. Giving yourself a moment to deepen your breath. Maybe wiggle your fingers and toes. And take a moment to notice how you feel. Observe your mind, your body in the moment. Feel the mind relax, calm, at ease. Feel your body aligned and balanced. Tension that may have been stuck or stagnant, just feel how that's released with breath and with movement. Making your way onto your side, rolling into a fetal position. Maybe create a pillow with your lower arms. Gently support your head. Feel your body take the shape of the posture. Come on up. Let's take ourselves into seated. And then as you come into seated, draw your hands at your heart space in prayer in Anjali Mudra. Thank yourself for practicing yoga today, for doing something so good for your mind, body, and spirit. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. It's so wonderful to be here with you and practice yoga together. I hope that you're feeling a little better, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.
Thanks, Melissa. Good class.
You're welcome. Thank you.